songs properly.
Yeah, I mean,
and really, make them very convincing. Which is, I didn't want to sound alike for Lou.
Right.
But it had to be somebody who could cover the
range.
Yeah. Give range and power.
Yeah.
These songs are very, they're not easy songs to sing.
No, they're high register.
High register. Plus, on tour, for example, you're playing maybe 4 or 5 shows a week.
Right.
He's just incredible. He treats his voice, so seriously and carefully.
Yeah. He's very
conscientious about it.
Great voice and a great stage presence. He has a great stage presence.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And all the musicians, all the people you have in your band, your whole band is such great musicians, and they all sing. I mean, really, incredible sound. Incredible
the sound was phenomenal.
I think this is the best that Foreigner's really ever, or since way back at the beginning.
I agree. I agree with you.
Foreigner has sounded like, it's really true to the feeling, and as you say, great players.
Yeah, it's a great lineup. Great lineup.
Good rockers.
Yeah.
Eddie, you had a question?
Yeah, hi, Mick. This is Eddie Clark. I want to preface this by first saying I'm 61 years old and my wife is 30 years younger than me. And the reason I bring that up is because when I asked my wife to marry me, just the night before I asked her, when I asked her to marry me,
she said cold as ice.
That's true. No, we were sitting there and I actually played. I was waiting for a girl like you. And I actually played it, and she wasn't really that familiar with it.
Right.
She liked the tune, and a little bit later after that, I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. What I was curious about was what was the influence for that song and who wrote it?
Well, it was a song that I think Lou and I had sort of been starting to mess around with this little chord sequence we had, and we sort of wrote it together. It ended up becoming really one of the most emotional moments I ever experienced, really, in music.
Right.
Did you intend for it to be a ballad, or it just worked out that way?
Well, it just almost, I have to say, it wrote itself.
Right.
Oh wow!
It had, it was almost like something coming down from above, and it had that effect on a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a very powerful song.
Well, I got to be honest with it. It 100% worked for me, and I'm glad to hear who you guys wrote it, because originally when I heard it, I was thinking, is there any chance that was written by Jack the Ripper? I'm just saying, I don't know.
No, that was urgent. That was urgent.
Yeah.
No, it's a great song, and I thank you for it. Yeah. On behalf of my wife, I thank you for it.
And you're right, Mick. The best songs come from nowhere. They just come out of. They just go through you. They come through you somehow. The best stuff.
It's the point where you're just like the conduit for the idea to sort of materialize into the feeling, But I remember couples especially I was at a friend's house one night, and I just had a rough version of that song.
Oh wow!
And I went to this. It was like a mini party, 3 or 4 couples, and they asked if they could hear something, So I said, well, it's not going to go any further than this room, so I'll play them it. And I played them that song.
Oh.
And all of them, funnily enough, had been on the outs a bit. They were having problems in their relationships.
Right.
And I swear, by the end of the song, they were all cuddling and, like they were all
That's so sweet.
Like the song had done just like magic for them all.
It is a
They were
powerful
like
song.
swooning over it.
Yeah, it is a powerful
And
song.
I knew from that moment that it had a pretty good chance of succeeding, So, and it really did. It was very, very tender and heartfelt.
Yeah.
And it holds the distinction of being the longest #2 record in Billboard history.
Oh wow!
It was on almost every wedding, and the unique thing about it was that song came out. Right, I was almost embarrassed to say that came out 3 years before my wife was born.
Wow,
that's funny.
But you want to know something? Even though it was a rock band that made the song, on almost every like love song CD, you'll find that song somewhere.
Oh yeah, people we do it all the time. It's a great song.
And Mick, that leads me to my next question. When you guys decide to say, "Hey, well, we're going to go in the studio, we're going to make a new record, or we're going to go on tour. Let's cut some new singles." What is the process like of the writing? Do you guys just lock yourselves in the studio and?
Yeah, or just in somebody's house, or I mean, a lot of my friends have studios in their houses. I don't particularly have one anymore, but I just, I've always just had a little recording device of some kind.
Right.
And, just put little snippets down, or just recite a couple of lines that I want to keep. And, it's just, really that's part of the whole knack of it is collecting little pieces that you can, connect as the song goes on, or you can look through your ideas and say, well, if that doesn't fit there, maybe it'll fit on this other song or this other idea.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can construct like a rough idea of what you want to get to, and the message of the song, and that's usually the way I do it.
Yeah. You also, people know you as a musician. They don't realize what a great producer you are too.
Yeah.
I mean, you've produced some great albums over the years.
Yeah, no, that's been fun too. You step out of your own environment a bit, and feel what it's like to. It's amazing how similar it is. When you're in the studio yourself with your own band, and then you're in another studio with a different band.
Right.
It kind of just widens your horizons a bit.
Yeah. And you're looking from the outside in too, which probably gives you more of a vantage point too.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Like I know, because remember you did Stormfront. You did Billy Joel's Stormfront. You produced that. That was a great album.
That's right. Yeah.
That was a great album.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah. You know what I find amazing?
Billy was a hoot and great guy. I developed a lot of respect for him when we were working together.
Right.
It was a bit intimidating, to tell you the truth, at the beginning, because he had such a collection of big hits that he'd already had. So I had to come in and kind of try and deliver the goods, as it were.
Right.
So there was a lot of pressure on me.
Right,
but it's easier when you work with somebody who's that talented.
Yeah.
All you have to do really is just try and capture the magic.
You did. You definitely did.
Capture the spontaneity and make it sound like the guy who's singing it really means it.
Right.
Well, I'm sure
that
the
movie, in a way.
Yeah,
I'm sure that Billy Joel was equally intimidated by having you as the producer.
I bet he was.
You're a heavyweight. Mick, I got to ask you. In 1985, when you were looking over the crowd, and you only saw, how does it make you feel that in 1985, when you looked into the crowd, you saw one generation of fans? Nowadays, you got maybe 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's great.
And you're one of the only few bands that could actually. There's not a lot of bands that can make that sim. There's only a handful of them that are doing it nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, these days, even, like the summer tour we just did, as you probably saw, there's a hell of a lot of kids in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And crazy thing is they're singing all the words, too.
Yeah. Oh, right. They know them.
And they weren't born during that era. They
Yep.
Yeah.
That feeling.
Well, they've learned to, just from their parents or siblings, older members of the family.
Great music is good in any era. In any era.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd have told me that 30 years ago, I'd have, you're crazy. That never happened.
Well,
it's remarkable how it's done that, and it's.
Music will transcend generations, but it has to be special. It can't be just any music. That's why Foreigner has stood the test of time, along with a lot of other bands, because they just it's you got like Def Leppard and Kiss and all my favorite bands. You guys show no signs of slowing down, and you just have this. You keep getting better and better, and you're putting. I mean, your shows are phenomenal. What I saw over the summertime, I was actually blown away. And
it was great.
And I'm not, I'm not a tough critic, but I hold the mark high because I'm from the 80s, the 70s and 80s, and that was when I grew up. So I'm expecting you to bring it, and boy, did you!
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Hi, Mick. Sorry.
Who's this?
Hi, this is Gisela. How are you?
You're Susan?
Gisela.
Gisela.
Yes.
How are you?
Good. I have a question from one of our listeners. She wants to know, in your book, you mentioned that you suffered low self-esteem. What gave you the drive to overcome or go on with your career?
Well, I think it's those times when, you don't believe in yourself. It happens to a lot of artists and writers, and you get very sort of critical of your own work. It's you just have to plow on through it and reach that light at the end of the tunnel. Keep searching for that little beam of hope and light, and then as soon as you get close, just try and just take it in and carefully kind of bring it into your own mind, and just think about the song, think about good things,
Right.
That's the only way I know how to do it. You do a little, sometimes if I'm stuck, I'll just stop and do a little meditation for 15 minutes or something.
Yeah. And plus, when you're young and you're a rocker, there's girls everywhere, so that gets your self-esteem back real quick.
That was my second question, is from myself. What was the best experience that you ever had on the road that you could talk about?
Oh, boy.
You're talking about on stage or off stage?
Well, let's entertain our troops. Let's give them a really juicy story that you can share.
What happens on the tour bus stays on the tour bus.
That's exactly right.
No, can't really go there.
No.
Just something fun that happened that you'll never forget. That was like a wow moment.
What was your favorite venue? What was your favorite venue to do a show in? How about that?
Well, I always, because I was born in England, I love playing in London at the Wembley Arena.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's always very cool. And, of course, the Madison Square Garden is biggie.
Right.
Nice.
That was a wonderful day when we finally made it to headline at the Garden, and it was just wonderful. And, there have been so many moments, special moments. I've been so fortunate, to have been able to lead this band from nowhere to everywhere.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's just very fortunate, and I don't know how or what is the secret, except for trying to write good songs. That touch people's hearts and imaginations, and that's about it. That's all I can think of.
Well, mission accomplished, Mick, because you have a storied career that is very, very.
Thank you, man.
Getting back to the book real quick, I have it. John sent me a copy of it. I haven't had a chance to sit down and I'm dying to do it. I'm just trying to find the time. What made you decide to do the book? And is it like a biography or autobiography, or is it more of a tell-all?
Well, it's not a sensational book, so much. I know a lot of people expect that kind of thing to sell, to sell books, but it's really kind of like a snapshot of different times in my life, different periods. For example, when I lived in France for 6 or 7 years before going back to England and eventually coming over to the States.
Right.
So there's a lot about the adventures I used to get up to over there, crazy places and situations I've been in.
Yeah.
And, so it's a bit of a combination.
Right.
And history surrounding those times, and a lot of people seem to dig it. So
yeah, I've heard nothing but great reviews about it. Everybody that has had a chance to read it.
And France is where you met the Beatles. That's where you met the Beatles too, right?
That's right.
1964.
Yeah. Now, Mick, with the upcoming tour in 2018, what can fans expect?
Great music.
Besides, that's obvious. Yeah. Is there anything that you're going to do differently on this tour that, as opposed to last year's tour, or is it just?
Yeah, we're probably going to be messing around with the production quite a bit. Maybe throw a few alternative songs in there, and just open the range up of songs that we can, get into and really sound good on stage, live, and so it'll be a freshen up of what people saw last year, and
right.
I can only say better.
Yeah,
it was last year even.
Well, it gets harder.
We've been touring, in Europe, and we'll have another tour under our belt by then. Things, tend to change a bit, and just Kelly is singing his ass off. It's
he is
unbelievable.
He really
night
is.
after night, he's nailing it.
Yeah, he's running all over the place. Yeah, I got to make this call again. I got to ask you. As a musician myself, I know it's an unfair question in a way, because as a writer, your songs become your children in a way. So it's unfair to ask what's your favorite one, but what's your favorite one to actually perform on stage out of the songs?
Favorite song, yeah.
To perform, not necessarily on the road, because that'd be unfair.
I mean, I always have a soft spot for Feels Like the First Time, because that was the first basic song that I wrote for the band.
Right.
It was, it's what got the wheels rolling.
That's the anthem.
And so, that one, I kind of close my eyes sometimes and think back and try not to trip over the amplifier. And swoon a bit for, whatever.
Feels like the first time.
Just think back to the excitement of those early days, and like having that dream and having it come true, and all that.
Yeah, if you trip over the amplifier, that feels like the last time.
It could be, yeah.
And Mick, we have one of the co-hosts on our show. His name is Dave Hodge. He's an Army veteran. He's a big fan of yours. He wants to ask you a question.
I just wanted to piggyback off of Paul's question there. What's your favorite non-foreigner song to sing? Like when you're not with the band, do you have a song that you just enjoy yourself?
Like a favorite song?
Yeah, your favorite song to sing. Like we all have our quirky.
A closet singer type of thing. Gotcha.
Our guilty
pleasure song. From our songs, you mean?
From anybody outside of Florida.
Not your songs.
Outside of Florida.
What's your favorite song? What's your favorite song out of all songs besides your own?
I don't know, man. Jeez.
Or Chuck Berry.
I have a soft spot for Walk This Way.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good.
That is a good one.
Rocker.
That's a good mover.
It's amazing how it bridged the gap too with
the Reverend.
At the time.
Yeah, that's the only time I tolerated rap.
Those guys are great. I think they're my favorite American band. We've worked together over the years.
Right.
And they're always very cool, and really good feeling with those guys. And, they're a little bit crazy, obviously, but
right.
And they have their problems in certain areas, but they're rock and roll. They live it.
Yeah.
Now, Mick, this may sound like a dumb question. I apologize in advance. When you guys are going out on tour and you have to pick, what goes into the process of selecting someone to go on tour with? Like, how did it go about that you were touring with Cheap Trick and now it's going to be Whitesnake? Is it something that's bands that you've meshed well with over the years?
Well, Cheap Trick, they go way back to the beginning with us. They were on the first headline tour that we did, and I liked them a lot. I thought they were a great, powerful band.
Yeah.
And we kind of became friendly over the length of the tours, and ever since, when I've seen them, we always look forward to having a laugh, reminiscing, and just a really cool cool guys, lovely guys, and you know, I love their music, and they're great entertainers.
Yeah.
Right.
Rick Nielsen still does his right, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
His identity is all written all over it, you know, and they're cool guys, and that's what we try and put together. Depends on the availability, you know, of people.
Right.
Depends if people want to fill that middle spot or not.
Yeah.
Or they've got thoughts that they're maybe too good for that.
Yeah. Well, that's
which,
awesome.
Some do.
I'm already saving up my money for the ultimate VIP experience for next year. So I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm so looking forward to it. I was a little upset because I didn't get a chance to get a tote bag. I wanted a foreigner tote bag.
Wait, he's not even joking. He's so serious.
He's almost crying. I didn't get too big.
No, but you know, listen.
Anything else we can put aside for you?
Maybe a cute little tote bag with sequins.
No, you know what, Mick? For me, even though I'm not a musician, I'm a comedian. I always loved music. Always had a passion for it. Can't sing a note. Can't play an instrument to save my life. But between the 70s and 80s artists, they are. I mean, everybody can make a case for their favorite decade. I grew up in the 80s, and that music. You know, when I hear it on the radio now, and I say to my girl, who's like 10 years my junior, I was like, you know, I remember listening to this for the first time, and all your music and all the music from the 80s, and it just is very powerful music. And I think, you know, they and it's sad to say, and I don't want to disparage any of the new artists, they don't make music like that anymore. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's good, but I don't think it's up to snuff like it was back in the day.
Yeah, it's well, in the day it was sort of fresh and original, and unfortunately, these days it sounds like rehashed and.
Yeah, it's all
electronic
and you know, and
mechanical, more mechanical now.
And it seems like they're just making songs to make songs. You guys sat in a studio somewhere and you wrote, or you had an idea, and it came from somewhere deep inside. Nowadays, it's just like, all right, let's put these three people together. Let's get some electronic tempo in the back, and it becomes a hit. And I don't get it.
Yeah, no, it's different. It's changed so much. I mean, there's a handful of bands that I would listen to. I think, you know, who really sound like genuine rock guys, you know, and that's Queen of the Stone Age. I don't know whether you heard them.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They're really, to me, they're the best American band around.
Right.
At the moment, they're very cool on stage too. I went to see them
a
couple of weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And they happen to be fans of ours.
Even better.
Which is pretty wild.
That's good.
So it's nice when, you know, you hear that you've had something to do with their...
Yeah.
You know, earlier...
with their path, their travel.
Right.
Oh, excuse me. Earlier, Mick was talking about the South Jersey area, Philadelphia area. When he'd be back, he wasn't quite sure. Folks, he's going to be around. These bands going to be around until April. But if you're up in this area, you can catch him in Atlantic City on March the 10th at the Borgata Event Center, the BB&T Pavilion in Camden, New Jersey, Saturday, June 23rd. And then your last shot, if you're in this area, is the PNC Bank Arts Center, and that'd be on Saturday, June 30th. After that, you're going to go to Texas, Iowa, and every day I'm going to play.
Oh, I'm going to be at the PNC.
But I might go to Texas.
I like Texas.
I'm horny.
Now,
anyway,
now, Mick, if they want to, if any of our listeners or any of the troops that are going to be home for the summertime, when they're not on active duty, they can go to foreigneronline.com and they can get your book and anything else.
That's correct. Yeah, that's our website.
Right.
And just about everything is on there. Yeah, you mentioned, I think we're playing the Borgata.
Yes.
The Event Center, March 10th.
Yeah.
That's a great venue. That's a great venue.
Yeah.
That's a cool venue.
Yeah.
So,
I like the Borgata, but I like the outdoor. I like the outdoor amphitheaters, though. The
Borgata just got bought up by the MGM in Vegas.
Oh, did it really? I didn't know that. But,
yeah.
And
there's some pretty big places in the casinos these days.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna definitely be at one of those shows. I have no idea which one, but
at least.
At least.
Yeah.
And
well, you have to forewarn us when you do.
Yeah, so then we
guess it makes sure security keeps him away.
The security keeps this guy out. No, but I just wanted I wanted to thank you for taking the time. I know you guys just came off tour and you are super busy, and it took me a while to, and I appreciate John Lappin for making this happen, and just want you to know that I wanted to say thank you for taking the time and for making all this great music. And I just have one thing I would ask a favor of you before we let you go tonight. Would you do a station ID for us here?
Sure.
Basically, you're just going to introduce yourself and say you're listening to the Animal House radio show on the Hamilton Radio Network.
Might want to write it down, Mick.
He's a professional. He don't need to.
It's the second part that throws him off. It's too long.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just
Yeah. No. Take your time, please.
Be careful. He's got double vision.
Yeah. Triple vision. So where you guys out of?
South Jersey. South
we do the show out of South Jersey.
From the shore.
But our show travels.
South Jersey?
Yeah, and we're syndicated. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anytime you want to come down the shore, you let me know. That's my turf. Soup to nuts you get.
That's your...
No food, just soup and nuts. That's it.
Yeah, right. No tote bags, though. I don't have any tote bags. But
so what is it? It's the
Animal House
Radio.
Yeah.
Animal House Radio Show.
It's Central Jersey, bro.
Animal House what?
Radio Show.
Oh, yeah.
On the Hamilton Radio Network. But yeah, I'm looking. I can't wait for that tour. I'm already looking up the date. Thank you for telling me that date because I didn't see that, Eddie.
Yeah, that's the first thing I looked up.
In PNC because that's the closest venue.
Yeah, we're starting early on the East Coast this year.
Yeah.
At Working West, we kind of did it the other way last year, but.
Yeah, we're right in between. We're exactly right in between the PNC and Borgata. We're like right in between.
Yeah, the PNC I liked it, but that's the parking over there is murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it rains.
Oh my God.
So whenever you're ready, just you
ready to go?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Mick Jones of Foreigner, and you're listening to the Animal House radio show on Hamilton Radio.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Whoa,
that was good.
That was excellent.
That wasn't bad. Now we could just get a little more flavor.
So, have you thought about going into acting, Mick?
Nick, listen. In all seriousness, consider yourself a friend of the show. If you need to promote anything, you have an open invite. And there's anything we could do for you.
Great.
And thanks, John Lappin, again, your marketing director. He's a really nice guy, and he's been very nice to me.
Terrific.
So, but thank you again.
I'll pass that on.
Thank you so much. Mick Jones, everybody.
Yes. Keep kicking ass. Keep kicking ass, man.
All right. It is 9:22. We're going to take a short break. Gene, I have the commercial break, so just we'll be back right after these messages. This is the Animal House Radio Show.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to. Nope, I'm sure you've got a perfectly good excuse. Kids, work,
Ad Council.
2.5.
All right, we're back here on the Animal Health Radio Show. You know what? That was a great interview with Mick Jones. You know, it's not easy to get somebody like him on the show because guys like him are super busy.
He's great, man. To me, it felt like the first time.
It did.
The very first time.
And I wanted to get him on because it was pretty urgent, you know. So yeah.
And I never got to ask him. I always wanted to ask him.
I was waiting for a singer like that.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't play any head games.
And I was going to ask him what love is all about. I want to know what love is. I never found out.
If he only knew that Eddie Clark was a dirty white boy. In studio is our good friend Eddie Clark. He's been on the show for years, even though the show's only been on for a year and a half. But
he's a jukebox hero.
I'll stick that lie.
And he's been doing a lot of cruise ships, as well he should, because he's an extremely talented guy. And he's got some stories. And then he's going to... Shay is working tonight. I forgot to mention this earlier in the show. Shay's working tonight, and our buddy Ed Ruffalo is down with the flu, so we wish him well and hope he gets better. So Eddie's going to pinch hit for Ed tonight. So...
Ed's taking Ed's job.
What happened with these cruise ships now? What's going on over there?
Man, it's all over the place. It's like, you know, one of the things that happened to me is, I don't know if you guys noticed, I'm wearing glasses now. And this is the first time I've ever had to wear glasses in my life, right? Yeah. So it's true, man. Let me tell you something. Give you guys some advice. If you need glasses, you know. You need glasses, get glasses.
Yeah, I know.
Get them, you will discover shit.
Yeah.
It's true. I ain't lying. I swear to God, my wife and I went to America's Best, got 2 pair of glasses, $49.95, right? Right? 2 pair of glasses, right? We got the cheap ones. And so we put them on, and we put on, we discovered shit, right?
Yeah.
I put mine on.
You're white?
Yep. It's true. That's what happened. I discovered I was married to this beautiful, blonde, white German woman. And she put us on, and she discovered she was not married to Denzel Washington. I swear to God, my wife took one look at me and said, "Oh my God, it's Al Roker."
Eddie, how funny!
And I didn't think about it until I looked at Al Roker on that TV, and I said, "Oh, I don't think I like these glasses."
Eddie,
I kept having the urge to keep saying things like, "That's what's happening around
100 years old."
Eddie, how funny is it when you get to a certain age and you go on the road and say your wife comes with you, and she gets excited when she sees a mall, and you're like, "Oh, a LabCorp or a meal there." You never know when they're going to need to draw blood from you. It's just funny.
Hey, here's the thing. Tonight was our date night, and I promised you guys I was coming out, so I told my wife I was coming out.
I feel bad.
But I swear, get a load of this, man. We went out, and it didn't occur to me at the time. Now, keep in mind, I'm 61. My wife is 31. Right. All right. See, everybody else gets to see. Those look like
little blue pill.
Guys are like, all right.
Little blue pill.
Let me tell you something, fellas. The advantage is not mine. The advantage is hers. Right. All right. When she's late for school, I write the notes. No. But here's the thing. We go around different places, and we do all these different things and hanging out. And she's like coming on a cruise ship with me for the first time. But people always give her a look, right? They give her a look like, "That's really your wife? That's really your wife? That pretty lady's your wife? She's so young. She's so young." I said, "Yeah, she thinks Michael Jackson always looked that way."
Do they ever mistake her for something other than your wife, like granddaughter or?
No, but they've mistaken me for a pimp a couple of times. You remember the suits I used to wear? Those suits I used to wear when when you guys used to tell me, "Ed, you need to calm down and stop dressing like that," because I used to dress like a pimp. I swear to God.
Oh man.
I went from sweat.
Nah, you dress nice, but you dress nice.
Sweatsuits.
When I was
with Top Drawer, I went Tony Camacho and them. I went for sweatsuits. Then I went to these nice suits. Then I went to these pimp suits. The gold one, the blue one.
What, you dressed like Huggy Bear from Starsky and
Hutch? Had the fedora. It was horrible, right? I mean, I couldn't help it. I put the suit on, and I couldn't help but look at my wife and going, "Bitch, get on the car."
So nobody mistakes you for her dad? No.
No, there's no chance of that.
Wait a minute,
her sugar dad maybe, but that's about it.
Did you have the big fedora too?
Actually, we're going to a Gatsby party this weekend. And I'm going to wear one of those old suits, and I got to go somewhere and see if I can find one of those hats. But I found out I don't go to a pimp store. You can go to the stores and old ladies go over them hats for church.
Oh,
Same damn hats.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got to put that up on Facebook.
Get the red hat ladies. Get the red hat ladies. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. The place they go. What do you call them? Millinery stores? They go, yeah. They still exist.
Haberdashery.
The hat, no, that's for guys.
I know.
What's wrong with you, man?
Well, you're a guy.
You're Army, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marines know the difference.
It's like the Hatfields and the McCoys over there.
You know what Army stands for, right?
No,
another Marine trying to get out. That's what it is.
Well, the Marines celebrate on November 10th because they know Veterans Day is coming. They figured they'd get a head start because they need as much help as they can get.
Rare.
What can I say?
Where's that pussycat? No.
I was in the Navy. I saw a lot of semen.
We do the same. We do the same thing with wives of former Army men. First in, last out. You know. Man, don't play with me, son. I got them all day. The president's private force.
Eddie, you cracked me up today when you said your wife called. The game called on account of rain.
That's it, man. She goes.
You know, you could have brought her in. You could have did date.
I just tell her, come on.
You could have did date night live on Facebook.
No,
it would have been a radio.
I didn't think you were coming because I did like your picture on Instagram.
Oh, did you see it when we were at the place?
Yeah.
And she said, I'm eating, and I'm eating the good
and
food.
you guys look
Italian
so
food. Italian food.
Yeah.
I was not playing games. I had the mushroom risotto. I had the mushroom freaking. Hey, let me tell you what happened, right? I had the mushroom freaking risotto, all right? I had a couple of sausage on the side. I had a pasta basil, and I had nice, good Italian wine. You know, I was fucking great. You should sit there drinking this stuff now. You know, and these Moulignan.
You got the old stromboli ready?
These freaking Moulignan come into this side. They want to try to eat. You got to pay for your meal there. What the hell you think this is? You think we got welfare? We don't do well Italians. You know, when we first came to this freaking country, let me tell you right now, we came in here harder than you Negroes ever did. We know about this stuff. These freaking. Oh, that's a camera. People can see it. I'm a Moulignan, living in a world of Parmesan. Thank you.
I'm so happy for him because he's been working a lot, and it's hard to pin him down. Like, I'll inbox him. I'll say, Eddie, can you come in on Wednesday, whatever date? And he's like, you know, you were expecting to say, oh, no, I'm going to be in Plainfield or say, no, I'm going to be in Alaska.
Plainfield on a boat?
Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, he did. No, they told me, yo, let me tell you about Alaska. Yo, I found out something.
What happens in the igloo stays in the igloo.
I ain't lying. I went up to Alaska, right? I'm up in Alaska. And it's a vast wilderness. It's it's a great state and all that. You give them a lot of credit for that. You know, you see the fjords and not the fjords, what do you call them? The
icebergs.
We call them the glaciers.
Glaciers.
You see the glaciers. You see the bears. You see the Indians. You see moose and elk and grizzly bears. What you won't see is black people. You will not see black people.
And they would stick out in Alaska.
They got. I went by the local jail. There were 5 brothers locked up. Come to find out, man, they actually drafted them from Chicago. It was a horrible situation. Yo, I'm not joking, man. Like, there's no black. In fact, you know the biggest argument out in Alaska right now? They're arguing about whether Bigfoot exists. They said they can't figure it out. I know how to figure it out. I offer this help. We're going to get 3 brothers, send them in the woods. I promise you, if Bigfoot is there, his ass will come out screaming. He'll be running up in the newspaper talking, I swear to God, I saw 3 of them. 3 of them. And of course, we won't believe them because we don't believe urban legends.
Ruben, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to mention what Eddie's talking about. I read this one thing that they said in Alaska, it's the ratio between men and women is 14-1. So
I ain't lying.
14 women is 1 man.
Oh,
that's true. It's 14-1. And if you happen to be a brother, you know what I'm saying? Those odds work out good for you there, man. Right?
Wait a minute. I think
we come with the brajol and the sausage.
I think there are brothers.
They come with the blubber.
I think there are brothers in the list, but they're just frozen and they're white now.
I went to a place. If you look on my Facebook page, you see a picture of me with having an Alaska king crab, like all the good Jews. It was kosher, but I had Alaska king crab. I swear to God, they're longer than my arm, right? 3 of them with a whole bunch of fixings, $125, including a couple of beers. And I'm eating this thing down, and it's just weird seeing a black man putting something that long in their mouth and smiling. It just was long. I had to like, oh.
And it's moving.
And I didn't choke or nothing. It was great.
Thanks for the visual, Eddie. Hey, Eddie, let me ask you a question on these cruise ships, and not that you would succumb to that, but do you ever get proposition?
I get proposition all the time, but I tell those guys to leave me alone.
Smart, see? You tell a lady not unless you put your teeth in?
Oh, women?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hey, Eddie, how about Juno?
What?
How about Juno?
Oh, Juno what?
You know, Juno, Alaska.
I know about what?
Juno, Alaska.
Juno's nice. The salmon up there is kick-ass. They got a bunch of places where you get salmon, and it's like you pay like maybe $50, for a big gas salmon or whatever around this joint.
Yeah.
Bro, it's like $15, man. It's crazy.
Oh, wow. It is. I heard it is beautiful out there.
It's crazy. The only thing that's expensive is the crab legs. But something that long and big, it makes black men jealous.
I know her.
We pay more.
I know her.
We pay more. We just don't care. We pay more.
So
I miss you guys.
Yeah, no, Eddie, you don't need to ask. You have an open door. I told you that all the time.
And my favorite show, not because you're here, I'm a little upset with Aunt Julia. Oh, that was my favorite show.
Not only have no, we're very insulated here because of Ruben.
And we have a softball in case anybody has to. I'm upset that you're going to be in Mexico on the 20th. I would have loved to have you at the Christmas party.
I'm going to actually be on Cozumel, Mexico, which is a Mexican island. That's why I think they put all the dark Mexicans too.
Cozumel is beautiful.
Yeah, but they all dark, man. I was like, where's white women at?
You'll fit right in.
They have a soul food Mexican restaurant.
They do.
Nacho Mama. Nacho Mama.
That ain't the name, but they do have a soul food Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, they do.
Which I thought was wrong, man.
It's called Aretha Franklin's.
Yeah.
Either way, you're running.
Aretha, I gotta find that. I'll find that mask and get it myself.
It doesn't exist. Believe me, it doesn't exist.
I will find it.
So
hunt it down.
Since Eddie's got to get going soon, but since he's got to go, he's going to pinch hit for Ed. So it's our weekly segment called the Way the F Out There News. So Eddie, whenever you're ready.
Welcome to the Way F Out There News. Police in Australia released security camera footage of a man smashing his way into an adult entertainment store, defiling and then later absconding a life-size sex doll. Victoria Kingston Crime Unit said the man whose face was concealed by a pair of stockings and a ski mask, very efficient, brother, was caught on camera driving to the store in Marta van just after 6 a.m. Monday while in a white Ford Transit van, which somebody said was windowless.
Where was this?
Windowless van.
Where was this, though?
Oh, this was in Moravit, Canada.
That's in Australia.
No. You're right, Victoria.
Victoria. Well, that's not a secret anymore.
Why is the van got to be white?
That's what I keep asking all the time. These guys, when they get caught, if they learn to use colored vans, color's not appropriate anymore. African-American vans.
In Victoria, it's not a secret anymore.
It's really not. Security camera footage shows the man using bolt cutters to cut through the fence before smashing his way into the store. The man is seen exiting the store with a 5.5-foot Dorothy model sex doll and loading into his van. Further footage shows the man inside the van performing sodomy on the doll and placing it in various positions for at least 45 minutes. After a sexual work with the Dorothy doll, the police arrived and found the man dancing with the doll singing The Wizard of Oz.
Nice. They're off to see the wizard, huh?
Exactly. She didn't say no.
He wasn't sodomizing her, he was driving her home.
There's no place like home.
If you only had a brain.
The police who arrived on the scene broke out hysterical laughter after seeing this. The man later was arrested and detained pending a court in January in front of a magistrate. And if you think that story was good, I'm going to give you one that's full of baloney. Customs and Border Protection Agents in El Paso, that's in Texas, says a woman who initially told inspectors she had nothing to declare as she was entering the country from Mexico was found carrying 227 pounds of contraband bologna in a car. The discovery
I do declare.
Exactly. The discovery last week, it was Aunt Jemima. The discovery last week was, Uncle Ben was driving. The discovery last week was made by a secondary examination station after a drug-sniffing dog became alarmed and started barking near the back seat of the woman's car. 23 tubes of meat were hidden underneath the rear seat of the car. When being questioned as to why she was transporting that much bologna, she immediately shouted, "My bologna has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R." It was immediately determined that the woman was mentally unstable and was transported to a psychiatric facility for further evaluation. The bologna contains pork, which isn't allowed in the country. Officers seized and destroyed the bologna, and the driver was given a $1,000 fine, 2 pieces of Wonder Bread, tomato, and lettuce with mayonnaise.
And she also asked, "Do you have any Grey Poupon?" That was the giveaway.
Oh,
MJ.
Oh, my God.
Welcome to El Paso.
Oh my God! I just thought
you wonder why I say everybody. Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
Very nice.
Bologna.
Look at here now.
When I come back next time, we're going to do commercials. Everybody was claiming that Rosie O'Donnell is the best at remembering commercials and stuff.
Oh, no.
I wish you guys get on. I remember I used to open for Rosie. I love the challenge of one-on-one. Memory commercials from 1955 all the way up to 1970, including every cigarette commercial. She can throw it out. I will beat her every time.
How about only Richie Kelly orders double anchovy?
There you go.
Schaefer City, remember that?
Schaefer City.
I can't find that one.
Anybody remember the song? Schaefer is a
One beer to have when you're having more than one.
And I usually do. That's what Custom Bush used to say.
No, yours shoe have a boy inside.
There was the other one.
A boy do hide. If your shoe has a dog in two.
A dog and a dog and a foot in the shoe. When the boy is Buster Brown and the dog is tied his friend. And they're really just a picture, but it's fun to play pretend. So look in your telephone book for the man that sells the shoes. With the picture of the boy and the dog inside, and you put your foot into. Oh,
Buster Brown shoe!
He'll be here all week, folks. No, remember the other Schaefer one that said,
Everybody say hi to Ed.
Sitting pretty, all together in Schaefer City.
Yeah. That was just before they started taking. They took those great commercials off the air.
What's your favorite one, Eddie?
My favorite one?
The one he just sang.
No, I like the Mean Joe Green when he throws him to Jersey.
My favorite commercial wasn't a commercial. It was the one that these little dumbass bastards in these schools need to learn to listen to. Anybody miss? Don't cross the street in the middle of the block. Teach your eyes to look up. Teach your ears to hear. Honk all up to the corner where the
coast is clear. And wait until you see the light turn green.
Hello, what the hell?
Oh, wow, that's something. There's a frog in a hole in a hole in a bottom.
This is better than Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, right.
We know all the jingles.
Yeah, that sounds like Paul's closing song. In the middle, and a frog in a hole in a bit.
We know all the jingles, man. I remember all those songs too, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, but you see people now, they got this new.
You don't like the Crazy Eddie?
I love Crazy Eddie.
Now people cross the street now, Ed? How the kids cross the street now like this?
Yeah! Because there's a law that says if you step in the crosswalk, the car has to stop. Right. Hey, attention, asshole! Right away, I got a rule for you. Get a load of this. Maybe you got a nut in the car. Maybe you got somebody that's distracted like your dumb ass is. Or maybe the car just doesn't care.
Or maybe that's why I have insurance to run your ass over.
Exactly.
I wish you would come in more often, dude. You always are like a bright spot.
It's just madness, man. I would have gone to run somebody out right now.
There you go.
Oh, I'm going to Lakewood, New Jersey, where they had 14 people got ran off over the last month. 14 people have died.
You gotta watch out, them guys with the Yamahas on their head.
Yamahas?
Those are my people. I'm black and I'm Jewish. It means I go out there and commit a crime, go to court tomorrow and defend myself. Thank you. Thank you.
He runs over somebody. Stosh, is that you? Oh my God.
It's been such a long time.
I saw a guy. There's a guy there who ran over himself. It's true. He asked his wife, "You go to the store, get me a pack of cigarettes." She goes, "No, so I'll run over myself."
Where are you going to be at? You playing locally or anywhere? Or?
I got some stuff coming up, but I have to get you guys up on it because that's what my manager was calling me while I was on the phone, and he was trying. I was talking to you guys.
You got to do Netflix.
Exactly. Exactly.
They want you there Monday at 8 o'clock. But
now that Kevin Spacey's gone, I know I'm not going back on House of Cards, so I canceled Netflix.
Yeah, right.
And they haven't given my new part. They haven't given me another thing for Luke Cage. So until I get something else, I'm off Netflix.
Oh, you're not going to be Polsky again?
That's not crazy. You know what? That should end up being something. A good trivia question. Because what was the name of the black cop that let him go?
Of all names, I would never figure Polsky.
Polsky, that was my name.
They must have had the white
John Polsky.
The white SAG actor must have called out 6. Let's call Eddie Clark.
The white guy, if you guys remember, his name was Smith.
Yeah.
And I remember, and it was actually somebody else. It was somebody on my Facebook page that actually caught it. Right. And they said, "Yo, dude, Polsky and the white guy's named Smith."
They didn't know you were Jewish.
He could have been Silver Smith.
Eddie, it's always a pleasure. Go finish your date night, and remember, we love you, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thanks a lot, guys.
And we'll be in the bleachers watching.
That's it. Yo, save yourself a lot of trouble.
There's another camera at home, Eddie.
Just Google Eddie Clark, comedian, and everything you want to know will come up.
And his rap sheet as well. No.
Including the pussy.
Thanks so much. Give him a round of applause. Come on.
Yeah. I love Bill.
Enjoy your date night.
Give your best to the missus. You got to bring her in one night, Eddie, when she's not working.
Said. She's tired.
By the time he gets home, it's going to be date morning.
She doesn't hang with white people.
They're not white.
We're not cool enough.
Have you looked?
Actually, I did try to get her. I've asked her a bunch of times, but she promises she will come in. And actually, you might even actually get her to sit there. She says the fella should be fine.
I'll do what Angel does. I got beads.
Oh, God.
Hey, I'm not white. I'm Italian.
Enough drinks, it might work.
No.
Guys, take care.
Take care, Eddie boy. Great seeing you, man.
Always a pleasure.
If you don't see you for the holidays, have a great Christmas, all right? And then Hanukkah.
Comedian, actor, and cruise ship Romeo in the flesh.
All about the pussy on that trip.
Eddie,
all I heard was meow everywhere.
Yeah. The problem is they're 80 years old on the ship, so it's so hard to catch them.
A lot of gummers.
Eddie, if I don't see you, happy Hanukkah.
Bye, Mr. Plotsky.
We've got a phone call, people.
All right. That's our next, our second guest of the night. Let me know when he's up. Are we up? All right, everybody. It's John. Hey, John. How are you? All right, everybody. It's 9:50. Time for our second celebrity guest. He's a celebrated author, and he's got some really great books, and he's here to tell us about them. Please welcome for the first time on Animal House Radio, Mr. John Diamore.
Yeah. Nice to have you.
You said that real well, too, by the way.
You practice all day.
I'm a Sicilian. I take care of my own, you know.
There you go. Thank you.
John, I'm sorry about the confusion over the last few weeks. I've been dying to get you on. I actually was listening.
I don't know. You're talking to a guy who wrote a mob book. Do you really want to talk about I was dying to get you on?
He's dying.
Hey, what happens in the dumpster stays in the dumpster. You know what I'm saying? But I went down to the library when you were there in Toms River, and I was. I think you were supposed to be there with Carmine Apiece. I came down there.
Yeah, Carmine, yes. Unfortunately, Carmine got very sick, and he couldn't make 2 of the dates on the tour.
As John would say, he had an accident.
And I was actually listening to you speak, and I was looking at your books, and I found it very interesting, especially the premise. He's got 2 books. He may have more. The 2 that I'm aware of are Dead Fellows and The Boss Always Sits in the Back. And Dead Fellows was it's kind of a unique thing. It's more like if I misquoted, John, just let me know. It's like mafia zombies.
Like a mob
exactly. That's it. It's mob zombie guys. The first book, obviously, The Boss Always Sits in the Back, that was my memoir. That was a true story. That had to do with some guys I grew up around in northern New Jersey, and for my 22nd birthday, my godfather brought me out to Vegas to have what I thought would be just a regular, great 22nd birthday given to you by your godfather. And what I didn't know was that I would wind up being part of a multi-million-dollar scam that was taking Las Vegas for tens of millions of dollars every year.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
It's a hell of a story in
Carlo,
itself.
you missed that, Carlo.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I grew up in Newark. John, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and my father was, God rest his soul, was one of those pinky ring guys. So
it's unusual when you hear that the casinos got taken for a change.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of unusual.
But, well, when you think about what was going on, people always confuse. They always confuse what they see in the movie Casino, which was the skim. That was the skim.
Right.
Okay? That's when the owners would have people take cash out of the place before it was accounted for. The scam was when guys from one family would go to a casino run by another family and do something one way or another to get money out of the joint.
Right.
That was, it's funny you said that because there was a scene in Goodfellas where these 2 guys were looking at Joe Pesci.
Carmine, he went across the street. Carmine went across the street.
Yeah, he's over here now.
I'm over here.
Yeah, he's
yeah, that's funny.
So it was a horror mob movie. That's what it basically was.
That's the other one.
That's the first one. Dead
no, that's the other one. Yeah. Okay, so I wrote The Boss. I wrote The Boss, several years ago, and you could tell the story 20 times, and it still is funny to me. I wrote it, and when I started shopping it around, I was in my early 50s, and none of the publishing company, none of the agents wanted to handle me because they figured, what the hell? It's a vanity book. The guy doesn't have another story inside of him. Why should I rep him if he's only a one-hit wonder? If he's a hit at all, And then time went on, and publishing companies, you know, Vinny's publishing company, they would have published it.
Yeah. A lot of people.
But, you know, I'd be paying through the nose to buy a copy of my own book if I did that.
Well, it could have been Uncle Nunzio on the other
side. You'd be on Italian mob movie called The Walking Diddolini.
Hey, John, you know, a lot of people are self-publishing nowadays, you know, so, I mean...
Oh, well, that's what I wound up doing. I mean, that's what I did. I was waiting for the right deal to come across, and I figured, screw it, I'll die of old age that way. Right. So I literally took about 10 months to a year off. Because I was living out in L.A. at the time. I was working for the studios as a script doctor. And I took about a year off and learned as much as I possibly could about self-publishing. Because when you self-publish, you do it all yourself. You aren't just the writer and the guy who's like posting it on Facebook or having an Amazon page. I mean, I did it as if I was a publishing company. I had books printed. I had right away over 2,000 books printed, and I'd become the warehouse, the distributor, the agent, the manager. I decided, you know, the accounts receivable, accounts payable. I decided to go out and do a tour, a speaking tour. So I had to book all that, and I had to promote it. And fortunately, I had a lot of that in my background, but it was a whole new animal. And, you know, people said, you know, good luck and all this. And I won't say it happened overnight, but it took about 5 years. And I sold 22,000 copies of the book.
Oh, wow. That's great.
That's not too shabby for, you know.
Self-publishing? No, it's not bad at all.
Hey, John.
That's incredible. This is hard.
When you were shopping the first book around, The Boss Always Sits in the Back.
Right.
I grew up in North Jersey. I loved all the mob movies and the books that come out. Were they a little apprehensive because, like, oh, here we go, another mob book? But as long as it has, my opinion is that if it has a fresh story and something that's unique, I'll do it. But they just seem to be not you, but like people and movie companies, and they just seem to spoon feeding us the mob stuff. And I know in the Northeast, everybody loves it, but we've seen it all and heard it all.
You're absolutely right. You know, early on when I would go and do the talk, and you nailed it right on the head. America, to a degree, has a romantic fascination with the mafia. But you got to remember, before that, they had a romantic fascination with the James Cagney, Humphrey Bogart. Yeah. They never said mafia. They were just gangsters.
Right.
They were always the bad guys. Pretty Boy Floyd, you know, Machine Gun Kelly, you know, way back in the early 20s. And then before that, in the late 1800s, you know, Billy the Kid and all that stuff. People loved that.
Yeah.
And come the mid-50s up until the early 2000s, without a doubt, people absolutely had a romantic fascination with the mafia.
Right.
You got to remember, the strongholds really are the ones that, like you said, North Jersey, New York, Chicago, not even L.A. that much, not San Francisco, maybe St. Louis, a couple of guys who say they love mob stories in Kansas City, but the big meccas, the Philadelphia, and like you said, all in North Jersey.
Right.
That's it. The rest of the country has moved on.
Yeah. I mean, and with the exception, and there's only been a few exceptions to the rule, like The Sopranos. Everybody loved them, no matter where you lived at, you know.
Well, I can give you a great. How much time do we got? How long am I?
As much as you want. As much as you want.
We got 15 minutes.
I'm off to Friday.
We got 15 minutes.
Here you go. This is a true story. You got to remember, guys. I lived in L.A. for 14 years. Some of the guys that were in The Sopranos were very dear friends of mine.
Right.
And I, again, as I made my way across the country talking about The Boss, and people would always ask me, oh, you're from Jersey, you know, is The Sopranos real? Okay, here we go. You guys watched The Sopranos, right?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I was an extra, actually.
Okay.
What was that show
Okay,
about?
I want you to think about something. This is very simple. The first episode of every season, what did you see Tony do?
See who doing?
Say that the first
The
episode.
first episode of every season, what did Tony do?
He drove into his driveway.
No, his garden.
He woke up that morning, his driveway in a robe and his underwear to get the newspaper, specifically the Star Ledger. Okay?
Right.
Okay, really? Would a mob boss do that? Half the time he was afraid to walk down the driveway for fear of getting shot. Every morning he's going to walk down the driveway in his robe and underwear to get that.
Just even being Italian, coming from an Italian family, you would never see an Italian man walk out like I said. Being that I'm an Italian from an Italian family, straight from Italy, you would never see an Italian man walk out his house like that. Anyway,
I do.
Absolutely.
Never. My grandfather always had a suit on, and everybody thought he had a shotgun behind that suit.
Okay, but let me tell you why. A dear friend of mine, you probably remember him from Godfather 2. Okay. If you're familiar with the greatest film of all time,
absolutely,
Godfather 2, you'll remember the guy who wanted to make the deal with Frankie Pantangelo. The character's name was Carmine Rosado.
Yeah. I know him. Yep. He's an actor. A big what's his name?
His name is Carmine Caridi.
Caridi, yeah.
Okay. Now I know Carmine for years and years and years, and I want you to think about this when people talk about The Sopranos and all this other stuff. Right. He said many years ago he got a phone call from Warren Beatty, and Warren said, Carmine, listen, I'm making a movie about Bugsy Siegel, and I want you to play Frank Costello.
Right.
And Carmine said to him, he says, look, Warren, I'm honored that you want me to do this. He says, but I'm 6'5", I'm muscular, I'm big, I'm a tall guy.
Right.
Frank Costello was like 5'7" and 335 pounds. He looked like a little round guy. And Warren Beatty said something to Carmine that made all the sense in the world when you think about entertaining people who don't know. Right. He says, they don't know that in Indiana.
Right, true.
Okay? And that's exactly how the movies are made, you know. They're really not made for us in North Jersey and Chicago and all that stuff. They're made for the people in middle America who need to have this fascination of the mob.
Just like Joe Pesci's part in Goodfellas. The guy he was playing was a big guy, and Joe Pesci's a little guy.
Yeah, that's true.
But nobody could have played that part better.
No, he was great.
Yeah,
but they said the real guy they played, the guy he was playing, Tommy, he said, hey, he was nuts.
Yeah, Joe
he was
Pesci.
even worse than Joe Pesci was in the guy.
He was.
And he was married.
Yeah, my dad knew him, and he was a nice guy. But John makes a lot of sense. He said they don't know that in Indiana.
Yeah, they don't.
But in North Jersey, we know it, and we're overly critical because we're like, that's
absolutely.
Right.
How many times have you watched The Soprano? Where did Tony sit at the bar when he went into the Bada Bing? He sat with his back to the front door.
Which you never do.
Never.
Do. I don't even do that. I'm a comedian.
My girl, when we go out to eat, John, this is a true story. Every time we go to sit down, right before we're ready to sit at the table, wherever they seat us, she'll stop. She'll go, okay, what side is it? Because I know you don't want to face the door or sit to the door. So it's.
Well, you like to see everybody walk in.
Yes, for a reason.
I mean, you're not really worried about getting shot. You don't want to, but you just want to see what walks in.
Well, not even. Well,
my grandfather wouldn't even let me put my back towards the window. If I was like by the dining room and we had a bay window, I couldn't lean against it. He used to say, "Move away from the window." I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah. I don't. You got to remember also, John. The comedians we're known to say, "Well, how'd you do last night?" We killed.
No, but it's for me. It's both
crazy.
Because I want to see everybody that's coming in because I'm always vigilant and aware of what's going on, but. Years ago, I was involved in something. Not me personally, but I was in a place where something went down. So now I'm a little gun shy.
Yeah, that's another reason.
Not shy enough.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like
I hate saying it. You always should be. Anyway.
Let me ask you a question. Being that you said you were involved in the family.
You know the difference? No, excuse me. First of all, what's your name, so I don't keep calling you Hunt?
Gisela.
Gisela. Okay. Now, are you Italian or Jewish?
I'm Italian, 100%.
Okay, that's right. That's right. You were saying that because you said to me, "Let me ask you something," and I always say this. You know the difference between Jews and Italians? Jews will say, "Let me ask you something." Italians will say, "Let me tell you something."
Let me tell you something. I have respect. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Did your family, let's say, we're talking about Sopranos and mob movies, did they actually, did they get insulted when, you know, like, being that we were from that life?
No.
Or were they, like, happy, you know, seeing a movie like that on TV?
No, not at all. It was part of, especially my family, it was part of our history. You know, it was only when they didn't get the stuff right, you know?
Well, that's what I was going to say. A lot of guys hated that. I'm like, that's bullshit. That never happened.
That was like in me. Like, it was like you weren't allowed to watch that. You weren't allowed to say the word. You know, you don't talk like that. You don't act like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, realistically, the funny thing is, you know, I was out in California when The Boss came out, and I spoke at the Sons of Italy in Hollywood. It was massive.
Nice.
You know, maybe about like 200 people showed up. You know,
right. All on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And the president of the California branch of the Sons of Italy came to that meeting and made me an honorary member and gave me a little you know, like the little name tags that you wear when you go to the meetings.
Right.
And it was great. Okay. So when I went to do the tour across the country, at one point I was planning to go to Florida. I did. I booked a whole tour in Florida, but I contacted the Sons of Italy in Florida to say, look, I want to come and speak at a bunch of things. I got this. And the guy said to me, we think what you're doing is an insult, and you're propagating the mafia myth. And I'm like, the myth? What are you kidding?
Yeah, they're still in denial.
You have people like you have good Italian, give the bad names to good Italians, and I'm like, holy mackerel! Okay, I'm out of here. So I didn't do then, but I did do well in Florida anyway.
John,
I don't know if you know this, but half of New Jersey moved either down the shore when they retired, or they moved out to Florida.
Right. And then there's the third one, witness protection.
Right.
Arizona.
Well, I don't know about that.
John, you know what? It's funny because as The Sopranos, season after season, everybody loved it. There was something new, and they fell in love with it. But as it went on, you started to see people, like, you would ask them, oh, do you watch The Sopranos? Oh, I hate that show. It's a disgrace against Italians. And it seemed to, like, towards the end, it got worse and worse. And even nowadays with the whole big Columbus Day thing, it's like getting out of hand how they just... It's crazy how things just happen like this. But
in this day and age,
and I knew a lot of the guys who were involved, and they were like, "This bullshit. They can't stand the show. They would never watch it."
Some people just have to be slapped around a little bit.
We gotta have
again. Here's the tough part. I was living in LA. I was working for the studios and the production companies. I pretty much had to, and half the time, people would either come over my house, or I'd go over their house and have to explain the shit. I'm sorry. Can you curse on yourself?
Yes, we're uncensored.
Okay, I have to explain the shit to them, because they didn't know half the time. Here's a great story. On the night of the very last Soprano episode,
right?
And fortunately, the girl doesn't work for who I'm going to mention right now, so she can't get fired. But on the night of the very last Soprano episode, I was signing an option agreement, me and this guy, Steve Barr, who I wrote the screenplay with, for Deadfellas. We were signing an option agreement with this director.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine was the caretaker of Francis Ford Coppola's house in Bel Air.
Right.
And he never went there.
Wow.
And so she said to me, how would you like to sign your contracts on Francis Ford Coppola's table and watch the last episode of The Sopranos?
Wow.
At his house. And I'm like, oh, man, that's absolutely cool. So we went, we did it, and signed the contract on a table that, for all I know, may have everybody from Al Pacino to De Niro to Marlon Brando could have sat at some point, or he might have bought it at IKEA months before I got there. Couldn't tell you. But the point is, I signed this contract, and then we sit down and we watch The Sopranos, and boom, the screen goes blank at the end.
Oh yeah, everybody was thrown off by that. Yeah.
And so I'm like, did cable go out? What's going on? Was it? And I actually said to myself, here's what David Chase did. He knew that whatever ending he might have come up with, if somebody came out of that kitchen with guns and killed the whole Soprano family, there'd be no movie in the future.
Right, and that's what they were planning on doing.
Right. Okay? So, but if I ended it just plain, like their families having dinner, wow, it's, pretty much like a,
It was a cliffhanger.
Having bad sex, It's like, really? This is it? This is what it's about? So he cut out that last whatever it might have been before the credits started to roll, and pretty much said to his audience, I'll tell you what, you come up with your own ending.
Right, leave it to your imagination, right.
And that's what people did. They said, oh yeah, remember the guys that sat down at the counter and the one guy that went into the bathroom?
Right.
And, everybody had their own version.
Yeah.
So you keep the myth alive.
Yeah, they created a cliffhanger for the movie, like you said.
You know what?
Who would have figured that James Gandolfini would have...
Yeah, well, great guy. I met him several times. I was actually at
the House of Silverton.
Tony Darrow's roast with him, and he was a big puppy dog. He really was. Just a nice, sweet guy.
I thought The Sopranos were about opera singers.
Yeah, right. I wish.
Yeah,
but they set the bar so high, John, that no show is going to come close to that.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I don't know how we're... this is bullshit. We should be talking about my books.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
John.
Okay, so anyway, the next book, after The Boss, I had realized that my audience wanted me to keep the mob genre going.
Right.
But I kept telling them, I was like, I don't have any more true stories. The memoir was my life. It was a true story of what we did.
Right.
Sorry. And it's to write something now about these guys. They never did anything as fantastic. And in my opinion, when we came back from that and the big boss in Jersey got killed in the 80s, it was the beginning of the end for the mafia as we knew it in New Jersey and then eventually New York. So there was really nothing to write about. But me and a friend, this great screenwriter that I worked with in L.A., we had a screenplay called Deadfellas.
Right.
And it was about these mob guys who take over a casino in the middle of nowhere in Nevada back in the 60s.
Right.
And they buy a big log cabin many miles away where they take mobsters and kill them over the years and bury them because they're so far away from civilization and they have all this acreage, a couple of 100 acres, to bury these guys. Nobody ever wondered where the hell they were again. And then, of course, what happens is a freak event happens by killing one of these guys that a old Shoshone Indian curse comes back and brings all those buried there back to life.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it.
It's like Reanimator.
And so, of course, there's mob guys in Jersey. There's there's casino stuff in Nevada, and there's hookers. So because you couldn't write a story like that without them.
Oh yeah.
And zombies, and who could ask for more? And so oddly enough, the book came out in June, and I did a tour that brought me to Los Angeles because I no longer live in Los Angeles. But it took me to Los Angeles. Started there, made my way across the country as far south as North Carolina,
right.
Up to Virginia, into New Jersey, New York, Cleveland, which I love Cleveland, and then back across the country again. So the both books are doing great, and oddly enough, The Boss, which now is 5+ years old, is in the top 4% of sales for Amazon's ebooks, which dazzles me. But thank you very much, everybody.
Oh, absolutely. I look forward to
there you go. So those are my 2 books, folks. And if you dig the titles and the stories, you can get The Boss Always Sits in the Back by going to thebossalwayssitsintheback.com, and you'll easily find the buy page. Or you can go to deadfellas.com and find the buy page. Or on both pages is a special combo offer where you can get the books, getting $5 off, and you get a discount on the shipping.
And somebody in the mob delivers it to you.
Dave, you had a question?
It doesn't fall off the truck.
Only if you don't pay.
Now, how do we get them autographed?
You get them autographed by literally buying them through those websites. Otherwise, you could buy them through Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com, but they won't come autographed. If you buy them through The Boss Always Sits in the Back or deadfellas.com,
you buy them directly from
I will autograph them for you.
That's cool.
I am definitely going to. I want to check them out. It's so hard to find time to read. But
let me make it even better for your listeners. Let me make it better for your listeners. I did this for the people on Facebook who follow the books. If you order before January 31st, you will get music for each book. The music that, let's just say, the mob guys would like to listen to while you read a book like those books.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'll throw that in with each book. Those were discontinued for a while. We only made about 1,000 of them. And then once they were gone, they were gone. But people have been asking for them for Deadfellas. So I like them for both.
I like the plot of Deadfellas. That's really cool. That should be a movie. That should be a movie.
Especially now with the zombie thing is popular. But,
well, here's the deal, guys, and I kid you not. I can tell you stories about both of them. There are screenplays. Obviously, Deadfellas was a screenplay before it was a book.
Right.
So there are screenplays for both of them. I've made a decent amount of money optioning both screenplays over the years, but unfortunately, the producers I know never had the juice to get a movie like The Boss made with the budget that it needs to be made for.
Right.
Anyway, let's move on. This is the absolute truth.
See, we have one right here.
Say again?
So we have a producer right here.
One of the owners, that's what he
owns
does.
the station.
Yeah, one of the owners.
Okay, then you're gonna love this. I had for a while a really big agent in New York City who was positive he was going to get me a publishing deal.
Right.
And I said, okay, great, that's great. So after a couple of rejection notices, and by a couple I mean like maybe a dozen, when he tells you that there's about 45 publishers out there he's going to get your book to. So he gets turned down about a dozen times, and and I said to him, well, what was the reason you were turned down? Why? I want to know why. He says, well, I don't really ask my publishers why, because I need them for the other books that I handle. I says, okay, well, nobody gave you a reason other than I pass? He says, well, one told me that your book reads like a screenplay.
Right.
And I sat there and I said to myself, I've worked in the studios for more than a dozen years. I've worked in screenplays my entire life. A screenplay is nowhere written like a manuscript.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah,
but I kept my mouth shut and I said, okay. Now, and this is the absolute truth. A year and a half ago, I'm in L.A., in Burbank, doing a real big reading at Flappers. Okay, I filled the joint up. Standing room only, more than 88 people were inside a room that held 65. Now, I'm there. I do a reading. A producer comes up to me, gives me her card. Man, this would make a great movie. I says, yeah, I know. I got a screenplay. I got to read your screenplay. Okay, here's my attorney's contact information. Contact my attorney. My attorney will send you the screenplay.
Right.
No problem. Okay. I swear to you guys, I swear. The producer, as usual, would have a reader read the script and do coverage on the script.
Oh, so
right?
okay.
Your producer there
Like
knows what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, they send me the coverage. Let's remember that a year earlier, a publisher told me that my book read like a screenplay.
Right.
The first line on the coverage said, the screenplay reads like a book.
Wow.
I realized at that point, these people have no friggin' idea.
You know, John, you know who would do your movie? And because he does quirky type movies, and it's kind of a quirky thing, combining zombies and mobs. You know who would do it? I'll tell you exactly who would do it. Quentin Tarantino would do that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Quentin Tarantino writes his own movie.
That's
true. Fuck him.
He won't do outside there.
Fuck Quentin.
You know, don't think I didn't think of that. Don't think, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. Believe me.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Actually, so that was for the boss. Then, and this is no kidding, when Steve Barr and I wrote Deadfellas, the screenplay, about 9 years ago, we shopped it around. And I kid you not, here's what people told us. We have letters from companies. We have face-to-face meetings with producers. Hey, guys, you missed the zombie boat.
Hey, John, this is Ruben. How you doing?
Hey, Ruben.
Hey, I'm actually a filmmaker, and I'm actually in the process of filming inspired true story. Starting shooting next week, actually. Does your film screenplay get a budget for filming yet, or no?
Oh yeah. You want to talk about it now, or you want to talk about it later?
No. After the program, we can exchange information.
Yeah, I can tell you how to get in touch with John. That's not a problem.
I'll go for Carlo.
But John, listen, deadfellas.com and the boss always sits in the back.com.
Yep.
If you want those books and you can get in on the good deal before January 31st, I encourage everybody to do it, especially all our men and women overseas. If you need something to read, this is definitely the books to read. John, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us.
I love doing the show. You guys are great.
And you have an open invite anytime you need anything. Please just inbox me. Let me know. You're a member of the family, so to speak.
Or if you need somebody to play mobsters, we're good at that too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'm available for the screenplay.
We're actors. We're actors too.
Yeah.
OMG, they just put their resume out
Well,
there.
I'll work for a prosciutto sandwich. Don't worry about it.
You know where I live, they don't even know what prosciutto is.
It's like egg noodles and ketchup, like Ray Liotta.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I see pictures of pizza, I drool.
I know.
Oh my God, that's not funny. I got to tell you a quick story. I was on the road in Massachusetts, and I figured, how bad could it be? So I was playing at the Twin Rivers Casino in Rhode Island, and Massachusetts was like right next door. If you went 20 feet, you were in Massachusetts. So on the way in, my girl, we passed this pizza place. It looked like Papa Something's Pizza. So she goes, when we get settled, then go over there and get a pizza. I said, all right. So I walk in, and as soon as I walk in, I realized it was one of these Cheney type places, which I knew was a bad sign. So I go into the guy, I go, yeah, can I have a large pie to go? He goes, oh, we don't have pie here. The bakery's down the street. I said, see ya. And I swear to God, I turned around and walked right out. The next morning, I went out for bagels. Couldn't find a bagel store. I was asking people. I asked one person, I go, where can I get a good bagel? Well, there's Panera. I said, see you later. I'll starve. I'm not going to eat
It's like the pizza we got in Hudson Heights.
You know, but
it's like the pizza. It's like the pizza we never got in Pennsylvania. Remember?
Yeah, oh my God! The guy was taking an order with a pencil. You know the place was not good. But John, thanks again, and have a great holiday.
Yes,
and
Merry Christmas. Never mind.
Yeah, and you have an open door anytime, buddy.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be on there, and my best to everybody. Have a great holiday.
You too, sir. John D'Amore, everybody. Give him a round of applause. All right, it is 20 after 10. We got about 10 minutes left. Gisela, I know you got a bunch of stuff that we have to get to.
Well, we were already doing that. Did we finish answering that?
Which one was it? The first
what
one?
quote or saying to people spat out that is complete BS?
BS or just
BS? You know, like it says, when it rains, it pours. Is it really when it rains, it pours?
Like cliches.
You know, right. Like anything.
It's like when people, like you said, when people say to me, "Can I be honest with you?" I'm saying,
Right.
"Well, what were you doing before?"
No, you know what people, not that they think it's BS. A lot of people, especially when they don't realize I'm from Northeast, they don't get when I say not for nothing, though.
Not for nothing.
Not for nothing, but, you know, and they like, it doesn't make sense. A double negative. You know, but it's just funny.
Like if you're from New York and you go in the Midwest, they think you're from England. They think you're English. They think you have an English accent. They used to have to me when I was in the band all the time.
Really?
I don't know where they got it. The New York accent, they always thought it was English.
Well, do you walk up and go, hello, love?
No, I didn't do it. No,
hello. This is Roger Earl from Falkhead.
I'm Paul.
Hello, how are you? All right, what was the next one?
Where's your loose, sir?
I have. Okay, let's go.
He's a pillow with a community.
Name something that you're totally obsessed with. You can't get enough of.
Oh, eatfuck.com.
Okay. He'll be here all week. No, I'm kidding.
Gisela and my stepkids. Oh, isn't that?
There's a guy trying.
Somebody else wants date night.
There's a guy trying to get laid.
You don't know.
No, I'm kidding.
It was our anniversary yesterday. 4 years.
4 freaking years.
4 freaking years.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, but obviously I'm very.
Well, let me ask you. Did you think we were going to last this long?
No.
From the
Because
beginning?
you know what?
Not the way he said to me after the first week.
I'm not married. Even though I was married twice, I'm not marriage material.
Yeah, I don't know how you put up with it.
I don't know.
I can't hear you, Ruben.
I was going to say the same thing.
What?
I just spread it for 4 years.
Oh yeah. But
that's why you go out with. That's why you got a woman who's deaf and dumb. And blind.
If you want to talk about obsessed with current, I'm obsessed with the TV show Ray Donovan. I just love this show. I'm just flipped out by it. If anybody has not seen that show, you got to start watching from season 1. It's phenomenal. Liev Schreiber plays an amazing he plays an amazing character. John Voight, the whole cast is great. They're funny and it's serious and it's like, whoa, what he gets away with.
So that's what you're obsessed with
Right now, yeah.
Okay. I'm obsessed with the Yankees.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's
I
a healthy obsession.
I am obsessed.
So you're really obsessed with eatfuck.com?
Oh yeah, he loves that.
I watch at least one.
You like bukkake videos?
Sometimes. No,
This is a shitty topic.
Edward Clark is obsessed with sex, if anybody wants to know.
Yeah. And what about
Well,
you?
yeah, because he's on his way home to get it.
That's
I
right.
agree with him. Sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. I love it, but I'm not obsessed.
Hookers and cocaine.
Yeah. All right. What's the next one?
Okay.
And you had a third. This is the third one.
No,
right?
this is one that you wanted me to ask. What is the worst Christmas gift that you ever received?
I want to start with Gene on this one. I don't really get into having gifts. I appreciate all the gifts because they come from the universe, and we all gotta be one. The music vibrates to us, especially if you put fresh batteries in the vibrator. No, Gene, worst Christmas gift you ever got?
OMG. Thank you.
Why is your mic not working today?
No, it never used to be like that.
It's because Ruben touched it. Every time he touches a button, it's like, thank God he don't work at NASA and he hits the wrong button.
Well, you saw the Challenger, didn't you?
Ruben, were you working there?
That was his last job.
Oh, Ruben, look at the top of your head. I never saw it. It looks like a crop circle.
Oh my God. Okay.
No, the worst Christmas gift I ever got, I think, was from one of my aunts. It was a camera that didn't work.
Oh no!
I opened it up. She said, "Take a picture," and I'm like, "It doesn't
Was
work."
it a Jello mold?
It was one of them black and white cameras with the thing that pulls through, and you see the picture. And she says, "Well, pull it." I'm pulling it. It's not working.
Well, you pulled the wrong thing.
Yeah, you should have been used
I
to
keep
that.
pulling it and stuff keeps coming.
Either way, Gene, you exposed yourself.
Anyway, my aunt said she just got it at I don't know, what was it? Woolworth for $2.
Yeah, there was no Walmarts back then. It was Woolworth.
Woolworth.
That was right.
$2.99. She says, "Oh my God, I paid too much for it."
It was
Oh
Corvettes
my
back then.
God.
It was 99 cents.
Yeah,
And it
remember
doesn't
Corvette?
work.
Oh my
That's
God.
the only worst gift I ever got. Everything else I loved, you know.
Ruben,
What about you, Ruben?
worst Christmas gift you ever got?
The toupee he's wearing.
Anybody. It could be parents.
The toupee he's wearing.
My toupee. I didn't see.
That cotton ball on the back of your head.
I'm trying to remember.
Which one do you want represented?
Yeah. Take your time. We've got all night. Don't worry about it. Take your time. You know, we're just on radio. Dead air is good.
I know what the worst gift he got.
That air
Sawzall, yes.
Yeah, he needs a
Hasn't
new
been
one.
used yet.
Is anybody buying Ruben a Christmas gift? Hint?
I think, let me see.
Get closer to the mic, please.
Can you hear me?
Yep,
yeah, that's
now
good.
I
Okay,
Stay
that's
right there. Don't move.
I have to say, I think the worst Christmas ever, I'm going to say when I was a kid, the worst Christmas gift when I was 11 years old, I got was, instead of getting a video camera, what I wanted back in
That's a sketch.
1988.
Yeah, 5 pounds of steak.
No, I got a train book and a pair of socks.
Oh,
A
my
train
God.
book and a pair of socks. They wanted you to get out of town. They packed your bags.
Was it a
down.
training book like for a training bra?
What was, hey, Dave, what was the movie Scrooge where you got them 5 pounds of veal for Christmas? Hey, kidding me? That's 5 pounds of veal. You know how much that costs?
What do you mean a train book? Like a book about trains?
A conductor.
They wanted you to get out of
It was my
town.
hobby, you know.
But you didn't want the book.
Well, you probably told me you want to be an engineer someday. They took it the wrong way.
Well, I
Did they get you the whistle? They should have got you the whistle.
That's that kind of engineer.
Toot, toot goes the trolley.
Nice, Simone.
This train is going to Norfolk, Virginia.
I thought I was older
You didn't move hard enough.
Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
What about you, Dave? What was the worst gift you ever received?
Being told you're 10, you're not getting gifts anymore.
Oh, no.
Well, you're too
So,
old
but
for
you
me.
get nothing.
No,
You
that
got
didn't
nothing
happen,
for
did it?
Christmas? Did you sing it?
Wait a minute. Are you dead
Oh,
serious?
actually, my mom sang that song to me.
And-
You're
and
getting
nothing
nothing
for
for Christmas.
Christmas.
And
What?
she was serious.
Well, they were.
Wow.
Actually, she laughed and she sang it. She no, really.
No, my mother used to
It's
say it
always
when
the
I was
kids.
bad, but not she. You,
Yeah, but 10 is still a kid.
You're, aw. We need to have Christmas
Wait,
for
so
you.
at 10 years old, you got nothing,
Yeah, it was a great way to find out, too.
Oh, that's not nice.
and then
That
nothing
sucks.
after that, or that was just the 1 year.
No, that was it.
Gee, Carlin, I thought your mom was bad.
No, you know what? In all
It was like,
honesty,
no, we get stuff for all the other kids in the family.
And you had to
the,
watch?
You're the older cousin. You don't get anything anymore. You watch the kids.
That sucks.
yeah, I have to say, as a kid, I got a lot of stuff, even though my parents didn't have
He's
a lot of money.
spoiled brat. This one.
I wasn't spoiled, but
He still is.
I
But see,
got.
the opposite, when I was a kid, I got everything. So it almost
Right.
makes up. It evens out after all the years, but...
Right.
Like, I was never deprived. I'm not going to say that. I was big on the electronic games and stuff, but I was in a relationship once with a person who shall remain nameless and they got me this stupid USB plug for my phone, which was clearly gotten in Exxon somewhere, which is worth about $2 and fudge. What the fuck am I going to do with
Wait,
fudge and a
eat it.
USB?
Wait, you
Pack
got a
it.
USB and
Hey.
fudge?
You
But
could
a
have packed
US,
it.
yeah, a USB plug for my phone
Is to charge your fudge.
was about
Damn.
the value had to be no more than
They were
$2,
telling you where to plug it.
and it wasn't even Lindor chocolates or fudge. It was like this bootleg stuff that was probably on the rack.
It was Caldor fudge.
Just think of it this way, though. Just think of it this way.
I remember that, Caldor.
Just think of it this way, though. Dave would have cried to get that plug.
Yeah, I cried because I thought I was hoping to get that plug.
And a piece of fudge. No.
Yeah, but that was just. I mean, listen. I'm appreciative of all the gifts I get, but that was just, what the fuck am I going to do with this?
Wow.
You know? I'm going to be like Gino. I love all my gifts, buddy.
What about you?
I got to be honest with you. I don't like getting gifts. I like giving. I'm not a get. I always feel awkward
Me
getting
too.
stuff.
I'm that way too.
So I don't regret any gifts. Any gifts anybody gives me, I'm overwhelmed. I don't. I
So
feel
if somebody,
weird.
So if somebody wrapped a booger, you would be thankful.
Well, I wouldn't call that a gift.
No,
It's
but
homemade.
see, my whole thing, especially now with the stepkids, I'm more excited for Christmas Eve
I'm the same way.
because I want to see their reactions and stuff because I know how they talk about stuff and what they want and all that.
I feel awkward getting a gift. I really do. I like giving. I'm a giver.
Right.
I feel awkward getting gifts.
I want that for Christmas.
Well, I guess I kind of, I almost have a similar story to Dave, but I was the oldest cousin, oldest sibling, so they knew, we knew the reality of Christmas. So for Christmas, I received a basket of Rave Hairspray, Nestle bar, and all these like stupid little things in a basket. But just basically, it was like Rave
stuff
Hairspray,
that you didn't need and or
mousse,
wanted.
and
Yeah.
chocolate in a
it's-
basket.
And you didn't need it or want it.
And then I was watching my 13 younger cousins and siblings open up all these beautiful presents while I had my chocolate and hairspray.
It's like
What was
it
the best Christmas gift you got?
That was
Your favorite one?
Oh boy.
Let's start that one. I already know mine. I know mine.
Probably last year when I got the Xbox, the Gears of War thing, because that was cool.
Thank you.
Listen,
that was the current girl.
Dante wrote out his Christmas a letter to Santa, and
Course I'm out.
If he could read it for us, in his.
Oh my God! I hate when people say, "Okay, dear Santa, I have been a very good boy this year,
Liar.
and well, not always because I'm so excited about Christmas, and I would like a PJ Masks figures and Legos and Batman and diamonds too, and and I have cookies and milk for you. Okay, love, Dante."
I love that. That's
cross out the diamonds.
Let me tell you something.
For some reason, he's obsessed with diamonds.
I don't know why he keeps saying diamonds.
He keeps on saying he wants diamonds.
Well,
he wants to search for diamonds.
Because he loves his moms, and diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he does. That's all he wants to take care of his mom. And between Joseph and Dante, Joseph's a good kid, but Joseph knows he looks for the high end stuff. Like Dante doesn't care what you get, whatever you put in front of him.
Joseph tells Dante, why are you picking PJ Masks? It's only like $16. Don't you want to get something like $400? I want like the iPhone. The iPhone's like $500.
Yes, and this one says Joseph
$1,000.
Joseph goes on Amazon and puts everything on a wish list. So so Gisela says, Joseph, go on Amazon, pick out the stuff you want, put in a wish list.
Joseph.
We go to look at it. It was like $2,300.
Crazy. Like, he's disillusioned, my son, Joseph. He really thinks...
He's going to be very disillusioned with his whole life.
Oh, my God. He'll be like, Mom...
Either that or he'll have high hopes and dreams. He'll aim for it and try and achieve it.
He'll say, can we go to the store and get me a little something? I'm like, listen, I'll get you something. I said, it has to be under $20. But I want something. It only costs $39.99. That's all. I'm
He knows the prices
that's a lot of money.
Wait till he works and finds out what things are, how far money doesn't go.
But I spoil him all year round, and then towards like October, November, I slow down because like, hey, Santa's coming, you know. Yeah. But
allegedly,
who didn't?
Maybe not.
Paul has the best Christmas gift. What's your?
When I was a little kid, I was a big fan of the show The Rifleman, and I wanted that. I wanted the Rifleman rifle. My parents always treated me and my sister very well. We always got a lot of nice gifts and stuff. And I looked around and I went to all the gifts. This is great. And he goes, "What's the matter?" I go, "Nothing. It's all right. It's good." And I said, "Well, why don't you go in the boiler room over there?" And I went to boiler room. There was the Rifleman gun, and I really wanted that really bad. So that was my favorite.
Oh wow!
I didn't think. I used to love that.
You still have it?
No.
Oh okay.
I wish I did.
He almost shot his eye out.
I didn't shoot it. It was a cap gun. It was a cap rifle, but it had the hook, the round thing.
What was your favorite?
So this had to be before you were 10.
I was 9. I got
you were 9.
Oh, I had that. I had them all. I had
It's also because it fell off a truck and my dad got the right price on it.
That's so funny.
It wasn't like Gene's camera.
No.
All right, Gene, what's your favorite Christmas gift?
My family and my health. My favorite gift was actually a thing that actually was like a one-man band type of thing.
Ruben's resignation?
No. When I was 9, I was playing the drums and stuff. And it was like it did everything. It played like it was like
it had the whole thing in your war.
Yeah, like a war, and you could
the one-man band.
It was awesome, man. My parents got that for me. They said,
what was it, like a little doll that played all instruments?
No, you wear it. It had like a accordion.
Just what you need.
Cymbals.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that must have been a nightmare for you because you're not a multitasker.
Well, I am. I'm Gemini.
You're a Gemini. Yeah, you're twins.
I
don't know about
the
multitasker. One twin is asleep and the other one is, you know.
Do you still have it?
No.
My
parents got rid of it. The next day, I think they got destroyed because they made so much noise.
Favorite Christmas gift?
I was so late at night.
Was it a lockpick set?
No. My favorite Christmas gift?
Yep.
I have to say I had 2. Oh, I had 2.
What?
I got my first Amtrak train set.
What is it with the train motif with you?
That's why you got the book.
That's Amtrak.
He gets pissed off when he gets the book.
We're going to send him to conductor school.
Yeah, but you know, the video...
He only goes halfway. He goes halfway to work. He's a semiconductor.
Semiconductor. Well, I figured since he's Puerto Rican, it would have been a lockpick set. No? A hubcap remover.
So what were your 2 favorites? Go ahead.
Well, you know, I'm also
trains?
Italian, so I'll bring a knife to remove the hubcaps.
That's funny.
And a string.
So what was your second favorite gift?
My second favorite gift was when I got the Super Nintendo.
Oh wow.
Super Nintendo.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. I had that.
I was 15 when it came out.
Our good friend is watching. Goomba Johnny.
Johnny. How you been, buddy? How you doing?
I haven't seen Johnny in a while. It's a pleasure to have him watching. It's an honor to have him watching. He was always a great guy.
Yep.
I saw him. I think last year we were doing what was it? The Blacklist, and I saw him on set. Or no, not the Blacklist. Blue Bloods. No. Bull.
Get your story straight. Get your story straight.
Something with
all the bullshit. No.
That's what it be.
Big
He saw the guy on TV once.
Big shout out to Goomba Johnny, funny comedian, and he's just all around a nice guy.
Yep.
He's one of the classiest guys that I ever met in the business. He always had the integrity, always a kind word to say about me, and I have much respect.
Last time I saw Johnny was when we did the roast for Vic. That's the last time I saw Johnny.
I'll tell you.
That was a while ago.
I'll tell you, he wasn't. It's a funny story about after that roast, Johnny's like, I don't want to be invited to any roast. I don't want to be on any roast. I don't want to be roasted. And I
don't even want roast peanuts. I don't want anything. Roasted.
That's funny. But it wasn't his fault. There was like, some kind of stupid stuff going on. But it was funny, though. But
it was fun.
He kept his composure. But Johnny, if you're listening, Merry Christmas to you and Danielle.
Yep.
Hope to see you soon on a movie set or on stage somewhere. I love working with you. Oh, did you see Eddie Clark's comment?
Mm-hmm.
Because I get my gift tonight all night long.
Exactly.
So, Gisela, what was your... You didn't do your favorite yet, right?
My favorite thing was actually our first Christmas together when you surprised me with the necklace. That was nice.
Oh, the necklace? Which one was it? Refresh my memory.
It was like shaped like a noose?
It's my birthstone. It's a V shape and it had a little teardrop.
I'll tell you what, though. I got to say, out of all the... She doesn't look for the material things. You can give her...
She likes the sentimental.
Something, you can make something out of cardboard.
Good. Write that in cardboard? No, for Sunday at your cardboard.
She's not materialistic.
I'm not a material girl.
She likes, all women like jewelry, but she don't need a 5-carat
you like
diamond.
Cardboard, though. Cardboard you like?
Cardboard is great.
That's what I get for Sunday get cardboard.
And I'll give you an example. Yesterday, like I said, it was our 4-year anniversary, and I got her... one of her favorite stores is East Meets West.
Right.
Because she's
in the mall.
all
They
the
still have them?
Oh, yeah. And
they had it Central, too.
And she wanted this thing. It was Cleopatra and Julie and...
you bet your ass.
Was it Julius Caesar?
Julius Caesar.
And they were like in a marriage pose. It was a little figurine, but it wasn't like...
For the wedding cake. Oh.
No, well, it looked like a balloon on top of a wedding cake, to be honest with you, yeah. But... yeah,
I like different things. I don't like to copy other people.
Yeah. But I just want to remind everybody...
All I know, I wrote down cardboard, so I'm set.
Cardboard.
I'm good for Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I just want to mention that it's
Make sure it's a box.
Gisella's
No, okay.
birthday on Sunday, and everybody's invited to our home. Everyone who wants to come out. Gene, you're invited Sunday to Gisella's party.
Thank you for coming, but I got to...
Thank you for coming.
No, I mean...
What do you mean? We're here.
What do you mean, thank you?
I got to do shows here Sunday.
What time?
All day long.
All day long.
I'm not invited.
Yeah, you want to come?
I
would listen. As
Gene Uber, he can Uber you with it.
Listen, as air personalities for Hamilton Radio, I would like one of their network representatives at the party.
Well,
that'll be General Monk.
You can come.
And just to set the record straight, I didn't want a party. I told him I don't want anything.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
want
like
anything.
She's like a Debbie Downer. Don't listen to her. But
well, we do have the Sunday shows.
You can Uber and down at the beach if you want.
From 2 to 11, we have shows.
Well, the party's at 2, so you're gonna have to cancel all the shows. Who the hell has a radio show on a Sunday? People want to rest.
Ministers.
The religious people. A lot of religious people.
Can't they do it at 6 a.m. like all the other ministers?
We're not up at 6.
I'm still asleep at 6.
They got rid of the confessional, I noticed.
Yeah, like Gisella's birthday. Her birthday is on Sunday, so all are welcome to come. And then on the 20th, we're having our second annual Christmas
party. I
party.
show up after I do the Sunday
party. Yeah, whatever. We're going to be there for probably most of the evening.
First customer going that way, he's going to be there.
Yeah, you can Uber down at the Jersey Shore. You can get a Midway cheesesteak. But December 20th, the show's going to start at 7 p.m.
Yep.
Because
I
did a friggin' typo and put 6 p.m. and Gene, hey, buddy, wait a minute, you can't have shows at 6 o'clock. I got people paying for shows. What are you doing? You got to check with me, baby. Come on, Gene, relax. It was a typo. I already conferred with Ed. He said, listen, let's combine our shows. So it's the Animal House Alpha Male Christmas party, and we're going to bring in all the musical artists that have been on the show. Karen Jones.
That's what I like.
Lisa Coppola, Christine Martucci. It's going to be like a Paul, Steve Keller, Anthony Kryzan from the Spin Doctors. And we're going to do a special song that Christine and Cheryl wrote called Home Don't Feel Like Home. It's going to be a special tribute to all
that sounds depressing.
And make sure you get the right words to Domini.
And Domini Monroe is going to be. I forgot
Domini
about my
Monroe.
sister. Yeah.
How dare you?
She's, I can't forget her. Jax, unfortunately, cannot make it. She's going to be in China.
Wow.
Jill Terrell will be here. We're going to try and get Danny Dante. I'm trying to get Tarnasia down here. And it's a tribute to the troops. And the song, it's an original song called Home Don't Feel Like Home. So
right.
If anybody wants, it's an open invite. Richie, Sandy, everybody, Robert, and Midge. I hope they all come and celebrate and bring in the new year with us. Dave, unfortunately, is going to be traveling. So I love more than ever for him to be here.
We're going to have food catered by Thick Newtons, so it'll be very nice.
Jerry Petito's going to be here. She's going to be handling the food this year. So.
She's handling it? I don't worry about handling
it. Are you combining 10 of her shows that night, too?
Yeah, she's going to combine her 17 shows into one. And, yeah. You know,
I don't worry about handling my food.
That's good. It's Girl Power.
She can handle something else.
The Jerry Petito Show. Girl Power 1, Girl Power 2, Girl Power 3. Jerry Petito After Dark, Jerry Petito AM.
Let's not forget the morning prayer show.
And hopefully Ed's feeling better. Shay will be here. The whole crew is going to be here. Gene's daughters are going to be here.
Dave's not going to be here. The whole crew is going to be here.
And except for Dave.
Unfortunately, Gene's not going to be here.
Dave will be here in spirit.
In spirit, and we wish him all the best and safe travels for him on the holiday. But next week, we have a very big show. And Ruben, since you're a filmmaker, you're going to like this guest, Joe Mantegna, from the TV show Criminal Minds, will be live on our show.
Joey Zaza. Joey Mantegna.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions for him, and he's
a great actor.
He had actually had 5 uncles who were in the armed forces, so he couldn't wait to come on, and he's going to be a fun interview. We also have Carl Reiner coming up. We're still in the process. He's confirmed, but we just need to get a date because we have to do a pre-record because he's 91 and
he's in California,
and he's not up at the time so we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to figure out when Gene. I don't know, but you're gonna show us all day now. I don't know what you're gonna do. You know, Yogi's Hoagies is sponsoring.
I told you what to do. You have to start your own thing.
Yeah, I know, but I want.
First of all, I don't sound like that. And
wow, it sounds just like you, Carlo.
Mondays.
Carlo, let Gene speak.
Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, we're gonna be doing shows during the day, so they're gonna be busy from 1 o'clock to 4:30. In the afternoon, and then all the shows will be going on after that. So
I heard Ruben's gonna do like a construction
show. So if you want to do something earlier than that, we can do earlier.
What's my time frame?
Before 1, right? For if he wants to do people.
What can
the people he wants to interview?
Well, I have Carl Reiner. The man's 91 years old. You can't make an exception for me.
He's in California. You get him up at what? 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I'm gonna make him. Yeah.
No, I didn't know what you guys were talking about.
Yeah, I want to.
Makes sense.
I have Carl Reiner, who's.
I guess you could talk about this off the air when you're done.
No, this makes for good fun because then I can hear Gene go.
You're putting Gene on the spot. That's not.
To make him feel bad.
I don't feel bad.
No, but the party on the 20th. Whoever wants to come out on the 10th, Gisella's birthday. We're gonna wish her a happy birthday. What?
When do you want Paul Reiner?
I don't have a date. I want to know what flexibility I have. I don't have a set date.
Flexibility.
Any day that you're able to do it, I'll you know.
Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesdays is better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Yes, you have time.
Okay, relax. Take it easy, Dave. Relax. Have a cream soda, Sydney.
Take it easy.
Right, Dave, you got the Uncomfortably Funny podcast on Monday nights from 7 to 9. He's got a great show. He's got a great. Everybody here is funny, and they're a little bit more blue than we are, and it always provides for a lot of entertainment. So make sure you, Dave. There's no actual website. Just go on to Facebook.
Uncomfortablyfunny.com.
Okay. Uncomfortablyfunny.com. Very good.
Good luck spelling uncomfortably.
And any gigs coming up, Dave? Any shows?
January 11th, Bridgeville's Comedy Club. We got a big show going on that day. We're doing a showcase with the crew from Uncomfortably Funny. We're showcasing 2 newer comedians that are pretty funny.
Right out of the box?
Ball Field?
Yeah.
Fresh out of the box?
Although he may be making a special appearance. but also this young guy, Tyler. He's 17. He goes to school with Anthony's daughter.
Oh wow!
And I've actually seen the kid perform. I did a spot with him and Susan Lafonte. Pretty funny. He doesn't do the normal like 17-year-old telling dick jokes and masturbation jokes.
Right.
He actually has jokes that he wrote, which is
a little more intelligent than.
Yeah, I was shocked. I'm like, wow. And like he was dragging again, like people just showing up to some cafe in Keyport. I'm like, wow, look at this.
Oh wow.
So he has a lot of friends, and plus they know that Anthony's daughter, a bunch of her friends are going to be going because they're friends with this kid.
Yeah,
as
if
well.
you want to have him on that week, or if you're going to be around, let me know.
All right.
You're not going to be here on the 10th, though.
I'm trying not to, but I got to double check that.
Trying not. Wow. Okay.
Well, you said you weren't going to be on the 10th anyway. So.
I don't know what I haven't decided yet because I always like to give everybody time to spend with their family. So we'll figure out when we're going to come back from the holiday break.
The other guy we have on is Vinod Chabru. He's Indian dude. He's been in the country.
Don't you curse at me? What? Oh, I thought you were cursing at me. Curry! Isn't that the guy who owns the place where we're going to be above?
Yes.
Vinod Chabru, the Indian restaurant.
We don't know.
We're not sure yet. We might be downstairs too.
We might be under the Indian restaurant.
Oh, we might be downstairs.
And Paul, ComedyTornado.com.
The only show I got coming up that's open to the public.
I just let you know
What?
It costs more downstairs than upstairs.
Oh no! But the only good thing is Gene won't fall down anymore.
What? It costs more downstairs?
They'll fall up.
At least
you won't.
Yeah.
You said it costs more downstairs than upstairs?
At least I don't have to look at the dog here as I'm walking upstairs.
I know. Well, that won't be with us in the next week.
Yeah, I'm going to get you a vacuum for Christmas. Forget about train books.
Next time I'm going to do, all my shows are now private shows, private parties until New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, Howard Johnson.
New Year's Eve, Howard Johnson's Tom's River.
It's almost sold out.
It's half sold out. $40 in advance, $45 a door. You get a buffet, 2.5 hour show, champagne toast at 12 o'clock, and I usually do like another hour of music after that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like a 3
So
hour
that
show.
means the show's over at 12. He's going to do another hour of music. Give him another half hour.
And then I have to unwind, so it takes about, I'll be out of there by 5 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning, so that means... Look, matches. So I got to do the loadouts. That means I'll get there 5 to 2, and it'll be going... we're halfway done.
We're almost done.
But now, since the holidays are coming up, if anybody needs any kind of great handmade jewelry...
Yes.
And made with love and made with care, and very
and glue too.
And a lot of glue.
She has stuff that if you wanted to spend a little more money, you can. And she has stuff that's under $15, stuff that's under $10,
even $5.
and $5. Go to GiselleBella.com. Please check out her site.
It's got great stuff.
And order some stuff for the holidays. All stuff is guaranteed and 100% money back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, we will work hard to make sure.
If you don't like it, Carl will come talk to you afterwards.
That's it. I'll send Ray Donovan over there.
I'm not satisfied.
Well, then look in the mirror and you'll get even more.
Use ice cubes next time. It helps.
But I want to thank Mick Jones from Foreigner for coming on.
Yeah.
John Diamore, author, and I want to thank you all. We'll see you all next week.
I got to tell you one thing before you say goodnight.
Oh, the words of the
I
week.
think the words of the week.
The wisdom.
Flexibility.
Right.
And succumb.
Succumb. I didn't know.
I knew a girl that did that.
Don't forget the pussy and the meow.
Those are easy words.
Guys, have a great night. We'll see you all next week. This is the Animal House Radio Show.
Welcome to the jungle.
Oh boy. So this kid's pretty good, huh?
Pretty funny, yeah.
Was he have more intelligent humor?